Hey guys, I want to do something I've noticed about my brand new Yonex Vcore 95. I really like this racket. I've only been able to play with it one time, but well, two times I demoed the racket and really liked it. And now it's just about trying to find the right string. I know I like the racket. The string I got, man, it just feels so powerful and a little bit too much spin. I feel like I would like it to be a little bit lower trajectory. The previous string I had a lower trajectory. Right now, it's got a really high trajectory over the net, and I kind of wanted to lower it down. And the demo, whatever string was on there, it went a little bit lower. Now it's kind of popping up pretty good. But I mean, I can adjust my swing and eventually change out my strings. But the strings are brand new, so I'm going to go with them for a good while. So I think it's the Tourline Super Toro, pretty sharp string. It looked real nice and stuff like that. So this was a birthday present from my family. But the reason I'm doing this video is kind of a case for the 95. A lot of people feel that 95 square inches are just too small for the modern game. And I think that's also kind of true for, unless you're, Djokovic, or, some of the other top guys, that might be true. That they still use 95s. A lot of them are going to 98s and even 100s. Yonex Center uses 100. There's a whole bunch of people who uses 100 square inch rackets. And if I was a pro and if I need a little bit extra power, maybe I would go and do it. But I kind of feel in this racket in particular, the bigger head size doesn't really help you on this racket. And I could be wrong. If you disagree with me in the comments, let me know. So this right here is my Speed MP. I do apologize for the wind. I don't know how that's affecting the volume. It's very windy out here. So this Speed MP right here is a 100 square inch racket. So with that being said, if I were to take this racket, a 95 inch racket, give me one second, let me try to place it just perfectly. Okay. So I got a 95 inch square racket. This goes perfectly. It's actually bigger, slightly bigger at the top of the head. It has more space than the Speed MP, even though it's 5 inches square difference. Where is the smaller size? Is actually, if you look at it, it's actually at the very bottom. You got a little bit right there. There's a little bit of cutoff right there. There's a little bit of cutoff right there. It's more narrow down here and a little bit wider up top. But where you're actually hitting the ball, because you don't want to hit the ball right here. You're hitting the ball up here. That's where most of the pros hit it. Is actually wider than the Speed MP. So why even use a 95 inch square racket? Why even use the Vcore? And I would say the reason is because this narrower neck, it's going to create less drag. So the racket's going to be faster. And that's what I found about this racket. This racket right here is 10 grams heavier. It's a 310 gram racket with 4 strings and overgrip. And that's a 300 gram racket with 4 strings and overgrip. So this one right now is like 334 with the overgrip and strings, and this one is with overgrip and strings is 320. But this one feels like it swings a lot faster. Some of that's because the weight's in the handle, but a lot of it is because it's more aerodynamic. That's a good picture. It's more, so there's less to push around. So when you do that one-hand backhand, you only get one hand on the racket. You can whip that thing around. Even though it's heavier, I can move it faster. And, you know, what do they say? Mass times velocity. So this has more mass, and it also has more velocity. And so I'm telling you what, you would think that this racket right here would be the stronger racket, and I don't think it is. I think this one is. And I think most of the internet would disagree with me because it's a bigger head size and it's got a thicker beam, and Yonex Center uses it. But the other thing that makes it more powerful is the sweet spot for this racket is like right there in the center. Well, with this racket, it's not there in the center. It's actually like higher up, because the widest part up here is actually higher up. So it's going to be just a little bit higher up, and that means you get more leverage on the ball. And more leverage equals more power. So I would, if you were like an intermediate player, and you're able to do a full stroke, and you think, oh, I can't handle 95. I'm not sure. I've never used some of the classic 95s with a tiny swing sweet spot, and it has 18-20 string pattern that's really heavy. I've never played with that. Maybe those are too much for me as well. But this one is definitely not too much, and it's cool because you get into a 95 club. You get some people, oh, you use a 95 square inch racket? Are you kidding? You must be amazing. And it's really not true at all. This thing is the easy racket to use. It will pop the ball, and it'll use lots of spin, but you can also hit it flat. So I kind of got it to pair with this racket right here, because they both, the sweet spot is the same. So 97 obviously is a little bit bigger, but if you look at it, it's not really. The Vcore 95 is still, I'm not sure if you can see in the camera, but it's still ever so slightly bigger up here, up this spot where you're striking the ball going this way. And it has slightly less drag. Now that doesn't mean it's really easier to swing here than this one, because roller grip, if it's to spec, I'm not sure exactly what the swing weights are. This one's swing weight is 324, and that one's 315. So you have a lighter swing weight that you're swinging through, but these are only 1 gram off. And I'm telling you what, man, you could be playing with the Percept, and you got amazing feel. You got a little bit tighter string pattern here than what you have here. Okay? So you'll be able to hit flat, have that good feel that you like, but all of a sudden you feel like, you know what, I'm going to play. I want to play with my Vcore 95, and you'll hit the ball harder, and you'll have more topspin, and it still has good feel. It's still way above average feel, even though this one is excellent. This one's A+, and this one right here is like A- when it comes to feel. But I don't know what the grade to give power. I'm sure Pure Drive is more powerful, but I don't understand how. I mean, it just booms. The racket just booms off of. I don't know. I've heard everybody say it's underpowered and stuff like that. I just don't see it. I don't see it at all. I think it pops the ball. So tell me what you think in the comments. Which racket would you prefer? For pretty much, if I went two-hand backhand, I probably would go with this one because I can wallop this with the forehand, but one-hand backhand, I prefer these right here. So tell me what you think in the comments. What would you choose? And why? And what's your string setup? Because that's another question I have. Is I strung this at 48 with Tourline, Super Turo, and I liked it. I didn't love it, but I love the demo. Maybe it'll feel better because I'm used to playing indoors at a facility, and the first time I played, it was actually hotter in the summer in Florida, and I know that can mess with the strings. So maybe it'll feel completely different when I go back indoors. So, yeah. What would you string my new racket, and what string, what tension? Tell me what you think. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for humoring me with my video. Peace.